Folks who are watching us live, we are live on YouTube. We have our Vintage Breaks audience watching us, and we have the esteemed, and we are very honored to have Mr. Goose Gossage, Baseball Hall of Famer, and of course, very well known for some of his thoughts about what's going on in the current game of baseball. But we're going to start off by, I found a very interesting stat. And I don't know if you knew this, because I found that some of the players I've had the good fortune to interview and talk to over the years, they don't know all the ins and outs of, let's say, their statistics. I was most mesmerized by the fact that you recorded the final out 7 times in either a league, either a division or a World Series game. And did you think about that at the time as those were piling up?
Oh my goodness, no. I don't know hardly any of my stats. The only reason I know them is I write them on balls. And, I was never really a stat man. I figured, hey, I'm not going to get into the stats. And, some of these guys really, really get into the stats. And I figured if I do my job, the stats will be there at the end. So, there's so much other stuff to think about that is more important to getting people out and doing your job than worrying about your stats,
Most certainly.
Take care of business on the field and everything else will take care of itself.
Absolutely. Well, speaking about what's more important, we have a bunch of kids watching, including my son Crosby. We have some friends like James and Daniel and Tyler and Ross and Joe and Max. And so speaking to those young kids out there that are maybe exploring baseball, like my son Crosby, who's 7, do you have 1 or 2 basic tips for them, or their parents, who probably are a little nuts like me, about what we should be focusing on?
Well, I think that, first off, the fundamentals. All we did as major leaguers when we went to camp was we worked on the same fundamentals that we worked on when we were 8 years old.
So I'm not crazy to work on that.
It is not, absolutely not. It is not rocket science. It is what we learned when we were 8 years old. The game doesn't change. It's the basic fundamentals. Learn how to bunt. These guys in the big leagues don't even know how to bunt. But it's not their fault. It's the way the game is being run. Get them on, get them over, get them in is gone. The great strategy, the most beautiful part of the game is the strategy, and it's really gone.
It's kind of sad in that regard.
It is the game, and they have destroyed it, in my opinion. And I'm not here to badmouth the game. This game, here's another thing, guys. I didn't invent this game. I got taught it, and perseverance. It's a game of failure, getting back to your question.
It is.
It's a game of failure. The bottom line is how you deal with failure. I knew at a young age, at an early age, my first year in the big leagues, I was put right into the bullpen by Chuck Tanner and Johnny Sane, my pitching coach, and you didn't want to be in the bullpen at that time. It was a junk pile where old starters went that couldn't start anymore. So it was a very interesting time, and I kind of was at the forefront of the specialization part of the game. And so when I'd come into these games and, crap the bed in front of all these people and my teammates and everybody else, that's a tough pill to swallow. And so I come into tonight's potential disaster after having a disaster last night. And man, if I'm even, we're trying to suppress that bad outing last night, but let me tell you something, boys and girls, it's easier said than done.
At any level.
It's at any level. And it is absolutely probably the most important thing to get your mind around are the disasters. Everybody can take the good. It's how you deal with the failures.
It's almost like a metaphor for life, though.
Oh,
really.
I say this all the time. Baseball parallels life in every way. Every life's lesson is out there on that baseball field. Perseverance. Oh my God. What else? I say this, and I don't give a damn about golf. I love golf. And I've done both, and I got a better chance of being a professional golfer than they do a baseball player. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's a game of failure. There's nothing else in this game that I can think of, and the only other person, I'll say it in a minute, but when you fail 7 out of 10 times, man, that's That's a 300 hitter. That's a star in baseball.
It's an all-star right now.
Failing 7 out of 10 times, it's how you absolutely deal with that failure.
So, right, because if you fail 8 out of 10, you're probably at the Mendoza line. You're not going to make it.
Well, you just
right?
Whatever. I'm not into the breaking it all down
Sure.
into percentages and all that BS, but it is how you handle failure. I knew I come into tonight's potential disaster after having one last night. Now, I went to bed last night after that game with a sick pit in my stomach.
Of course you did.
I woke up with that same sick pit. It didn't go away, is my point. Now, tonight I'm thrown back into the same situation, basically, that I
had the night before.
Gave it up last night. So now I'm thinking about, don't have another disaster like you did last night. Guess what? It's like clockwork. I'm going to have another disaster because I'm thinking about that other disaster.
So you're telling the kids to move on.
People ask me all the time, kids, Goose, how are you such a great reliever? I said, I couldn't remember what happened last night. And there's a lot of truth to that. You've got to let it go. And like I said before, that is a hell of a lot easier said than done. It's a whole mindset of how you program. I said I've got to reprogram you almost got to play like you don't care.
You have to be stoic.
Which is in front of 50,000 people and you can't BS yourself, So kids, perseverance, work hard, stay after it, get over the bad at-bat. Now that's how you go into slumps, right? The bad outing. Now I got 2 bad outings going because I'm thinking about the bad one last night. It's a simple deal. And baseball's not rocket science, but there's a lot of things that have to go your way, that are out of, here's another great tip, guys. Baseball taught me to control what I can control and forget about all the thousands and millions of things that we worry about that are out of our control.
It really does sound like a life metaphor.
So it's that's why I say baseball, that's why it's such a beautiful game, because it parallels life in every way. And it is a game of failure. And I was going to say the only other thing that you could fail 7 out of 10 times was a weatherman. So, that's the only other one that somebody's come up with that you can fail.
I like that a lot.
7 out of 10 times and be a star.
On that note, I'm going to make sure I don't fail here and I do our break. Do you have a knife for me? Great. We're opening up together a 2021 National Treasures baseball box. And what's cool about this product that baseball enthusiasts enjoy is that you're going to get multiple autograph cards and or patch cards per box. And it could be a mixture of either veterans or modern players.
Sure.
And so it kind of makes it fun. At the end, we're going to kind of gift you a pack.
The mixture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. So these are going to spots 4, right, through, I think, 12, or 4 through 11. And what we're going to do is open it, maybe discuss 1 or 2 things at the end, but we're going to see if we get anyone out of here of note. And everyone who's watching Goose, of course, is interested in the fact that we're opening this together.
Yeah.
But I can tell you after doing this, it's funny, our last 2 folks were you and another all-time great reliever was Raleigh Fingers.
Oh, man.
And to hear... some of the stories like behind the scenes.
He's a wannabe Goose Gossage.
Exactly. I don't think he would be upset with that. He's an easygoing fella. But I really do like your advice for the kids out there because, let's be honest, right? Whether it be my son's trying to ride his bike or he's trying to figure out how to write more neatly in the lines at school, we're going to fail and we're going to continue to fail. So it's how we pick ourselves back up.
Oh, absolutely.
And you were doing it in the most amplified of fashions in front of 50,000 people at the good Yankee Stadium.
And it was a process. It was something I said, I'm either going to get this really quickly or I'm going to be doing something else real quickly.
Oh, so you knew it.
Oh, well, I knew I had to get my mind around the disasters. That's all.
Sure.
That tough pill to swallow that night and going to bed and with the sick pit and waking up with the sick pit, oh man. There we go. You almost got to play like you don't care, and that's not going to happen. So you got to get that happy that happy medium in there.
I can appreciate that. All right, so we're going to go through these cards one at a time, and we'll see who we got. So first one
Get my eyes on.
Absolutely. So first one is a game used jersey card of Craig Biggio, also a fellow Hall of Famer.
Sure.
And it's numbered to 25. So people like collecting these not just for the player who's on them, but maybe the patch and also that they're numbered.
Yeah, sure.
So we're going to show it off to the camera as well.
Nice card.
Yeah, it is a pretty nice card. So there is a chance, I think, that we could get you in here, but I don't know the exact checklist on the set.
Something new for our show. We're going to have you exit past the table.
That is card number 1.
So past the table after you get your autograph.
Let's see who's next.
Ooh,
very good young player, Alex Verdugo. He got traded early in his career, and I know this is numbered of 99. While we're going through this, I know that you were on a few different teams in your career. Can you talk a little bit about just what that does to someone's, psyche and
I enjoyed work, playing for all the teams. I say to people, I wore my welcome out in a lot of places, but all I wanted to do when I started out was put a big league uniform on one time, and it turned into 22 years, and I still can't believe and comprehend the kind of career that I had, and then topping it off with an election to the Hall of Fame is something that, it's over my head. So
probably don't remember because I know you're not focusing on your own stats, but I grew up an avid Yankee fan, and I was part of the Andy Hawkins days and the Wayne Tollison, so that's not so fun. And what I remember, most of all when I was looking through your stats, or to me it meant a lot, was before Mariano, you held the record for most All-Star selections with 8 as a reliever before Mariano broke it in 2008. And so it's really nice Yankees history, lineage to be tied to Mariano, also another fellow great reliever. It's very cool that you're joining us today. We have Ari Hara, rookie, numbered of 10. And so people who collect these also like the patches that show like different colors. There's the RC logo, and so it's a big giant patch. And so the way it works, I'm sure the way it works similarly, whether it be you're just playing for contracts and trying to survive in the majors, we don't know if this kid's going to be anything or not. So people who are buying cards, they like to speculate.
Sure.
But it is a pretty looking card. And that is, let's see here. This is numbered of 99. Oh, well, he's a great catcher.
Yep.
Who is your favorite catcher?
Munson. Yeah.
Why was Thurman Munson your favorite catcher?
Just because he'd be in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have to take a back seat to anybody that is in the Hall of Fame, and Johnny Bench to me probably is I look at him as when I was playing, probably the greatest offensive catcher, greatest catcher, number 1 catcher probably, Fisk, of course, but Munson was, man, this guy, I don't know how he got the job done with that little fat body of his, but he's looking down, he wants a piece of me right now. But
he had so much grit, it seems.
Oh, he was a smart player, very, very smart. I loved throwing to him. We had a lot of fun out there, a lot of laughs. He'd come to the mound, I'd come to the mound, and bases loaded, and that's when we came into situations. We didn't get to just pitch the 9th and start it out with nobody on.
And have it be nice and
came
easy
in
and flowery,
6th,
right?
7th inning.
So
with,
tell us
bases loaded. So, the bases loaded, I'd get to the mound, and Munson would say, "Ooh, this is a scary game," and then take off running, laughing, like, make sure that I knew that this was really a big situation. So, yeah, he was awesome. There's hardly a day goes by that I really don't think about him. Yeah.
I wish I would have had the chance to watch Thurman Munson growing up.
Yeah, he was special. Yeah, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. No question about it.
Sure.
When he died in the plane crash, he probably just doesn't have another year or two. 2 or 3 years would have put him. He'd been a slam dunk. Yeah.
It's interesting to hear how you almost have this bond whether it be with Munson or your
Oh,
other
yeah.
catchers, because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
right. When you were
Yeah.
coming into games, and I almost interrupted you, I didn't think about, like, the way that I watched baseball growing up was very much the way you described. Ninth inning, new
Yeah.
reliever, fresh slate, no one's on base.
Yeah.
You're coming in chaos.
Yeah.
Maybe almost like in war, baseball war, but
it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy, you know. But you know, I love those situations. The tougher the situation, I felt the better I was. My concentration was better, my focus, and yeah, it was. I said it was like a 10-year-old kid, or you know, getting on their favorite ride at Disney World and waiting in line for a couple hours for your favorite ride, and it lasts a couple minutes or a minute or whatever. And I said I got on my favorite ride and it lasted for 22 years. So yeah, amazing.
that is amazing. Really appreciate you taking the time to share with us some of the stories today that I know are intimate. You can't Google this stuff, folks. So this is
no.
part of the reason why I personally, listen, I'm a baseball card nerd, but I'm also a baseball nerd.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've been so
Yeah.
for a long time.
Right.
This is
I'm
Daniel
a nerd
Lynch.
baseball nerd.
Yeah, this is Daniel Lynch.
Yeah.
He is a Kansas City Royals rookie. This is a patch autographed. This is numbered of 99. So that's pretty cool. This is interesting. So we got coming up Ryan Jeffers. Looks like a young kid on Minnesota.
These guys
Catcher.
should work on their Ryan. That's not a bad one there, but man, some of these autographs they ought to work on them. It's almost like they sign them like they don't want you to read them.
So
wow,
it's disappointing to the
I
kids,
don't
especially.
get it. I don't get it.
You have one of the nicest
stopped-
autographs in the game.
I stopped getting. Well, that's 2 years in Catholic school. I flunked first grade, so I got 2 years of the double whammy. So how do you flunk first grade, man?
You know, do you remember your first grade teacher's name?
Sister Faith, absolutely.
Well, mine was Mrs. Finch, and I know exactly what she told my mother, even in first grade. Leighton's a wonderful kid with a great personality, but he doesn't shut up, and he loves baseball. Like,
That's why you're on radio.
Just doing what we all enjoy. If I do this for 22 more years, Goose, I will feel just as grateful and thankful as you were for your major league career.
It's you know, we had a great saying in baseball. Baseball's made up of players who have been humbled and those that soon will be.
Well, I'll tell you, if we're ever off camera and you want a dinner on me or a drink, I feel like you're going to fill me with all sorts of words of wisdom, not just for baseball, but for my son.
That's what's missing in the game. These guys that are running the game have no respect for the game.
Just the money. Just the money.
No, not even money. No. They want to change the face of baseball. And it hung out everything for over 100 years. What was it? Statistics. Now, the statistics don't even, they build the ballpark smaller. They wanted to put more offense in the game by design, and they've lost their freaking minds. 500 home runs, we'll just take the greatest stat of all. 500 home runs doesn't mean what 500 home runs used to mean. It used to mean something. Now whatever that benchmark
It's like inflation.
is, well, it's just everything, you know.
No, I agree
These
with you.
same bunch of guys that are running this game, the knowledge that is leaving this game is alarming, to say the least, in my opinion. I didn't invent this game. I got taught it from A to Z. And that's why I get so upset about these guys running this game. They don't even believe in coaches. David Cohn and I, we were in a car driving, and I rolled down the window and they didn't know what I was doing. I yelled at the guy on the street corner. I said, "Hey, you want to manage the Yankees? You can. It's 100 pitches, and then they start then they got the matchup, and then they got the matchup. So you can tell how upset I'm getting. But
well, I'm not trying to end you on, but I am enjoying
game
listening to hear you be passionate.
That's the way the game is today.
It is.
It's losing 3/4 of the game. The only thing that is the same in the game is it's 90-foot bases and it's 60 feet 6 inches. That's it.
Well, I'll tell
That
you,
is
I'm going
all.
to try to take away.
They don't even bunt. And the
but
shift,
Crosby will.
And the shift, they're giving you a base. I heard somebody complain to big power hitter, they always shift on him. Why don't you lay 5 of them down? 5 bunts down. We did it on Boog Powell. Lay 5 bunts down. That will be the end of the shift. It's a real simple deal. These guys, they're a bunch of idiots running this game.
The shift is crazy. It totally
And
transfers.
as far as you pitchers are concerned, wind-ups. They wound up for 100 years coming over their head. Now these piece of shit wind-ups that I call, no wind-ups, no deception. You're not getting the big muscles. You're not engaging big muscles. That's why they're pitching less and they're breaking down more. Go figure.
Seems pretty simple.
Go figure. Duh.
And
And they don't even train them right. All these heavy weights and they look like freaking football players. Well, you know, and they're breaking down. So
Wild.
you go ahead. I watched Mark Teixeira dig himself in the mirror while I'm working out on the bike, getting some cardio work when I went to the Yankees for over 20 years to spring training. I see Mark Teixeira digging himself in the mirror, working out, lifting all these heavy weights. I want to walk up and say, get your ass on the field where you belong and get your ass out of this weight room.
makes sense.
It does. No, this isn't. I'm
But
not
what do you think is the core issue or problem as to why all these changes are happening and they're moving away from what made
because
the
they've
game
just taken
beautiful?
over. Look at our government. It's the same bunch of jerks running our government that are running baseball.
Well, I'd say that I
They
pay
don't
attention
know
to
their
baseball
ass
cards.
from a hole in the ground. So there. Sorry for the bad language, boys.
Well, I was going to say in the beginning, we might want to have earmuffs, but people who know you, Goose, kind of know. Travis Blankenhorn is an autograph patch, and what's cool is they said Bomb Squad, but once again, commenting about the autograph, it's like a couple initials.
right. Well, I mean, that one
we wish.
at least kind of, I can see it. Is
All
it
right,
a B?
we have, this is very interesting what we have coming up here. This is the last card in the break.
It's like when guys didn't know how to write, they put an X. So now they put a B if they're Brad or whatever it is. Or whatever, it's like, man,
All right, there we go.
like I said, I used to get 2 or 3 dozen balls while I was in spring training for charities. And I'd get home and take them out a month later. I didn't know who these guys were, so I stopped getting them.
Nick Madrigal, this is kind of a neat card. They took 6 pieces of his uniform and they made a part of it. But here's his signature, and let's see if it's numbered. It is numbered of 99, and that is the last card in the break.
It's very sad to me that I can't watch a baseball game without wanting to throw something through my TV because of the fundamentals and this crap that is going on. I don't need a screen on TV, a strike zone, to show me the strike zone on TV. Thank you.
very
I can't watch
distracting.
it.
It's very
I can't watch
distracting.
it. Well, it's not natural either. It is something that they're playing that these guys never even had a job. You know the difference between the nerds in my day, Roland Heeman, the great nerd, I loved him. He was one of the best general managers I ever had, my first general manager. And what those guys did was surround themselves by great baseball people, scouts.
People who do the game.
Scouts that knew the game. That's how they learned the game. Now, when they went to put a team together, they talked chemistry. These guys have no idea what even chemistry would even be, right? Is this guy going to fit in? Who cares? He can hit 50 home runs, so what?
Sure.
That's it. That's the bottom line today. And it's just a shame that this game is going the way it was going. I lost my train of thought there for a second, but
Well, that's okay. I mean, we've enjoyed thoroughly what we've been discussing. We were going to ask you if we could sign a couple of balls live on camera.
Yeah.
And what's nice is, of course, that's going to go out to one of our members of our community. It's an official Major League Baseball. But you're going to show everyone because you have a beautiful signature.
yeah, where's the camera?
The camera is right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can sign it the best you can. You don't have to be on camera per se. And if you could add your Hall of Fame inscription to this one in particular, and the next one's going to be interesting.
Okay, it looks like Barney Perrant has joined us. If you have a digital photo op for Barney Perrant, a digital photo op, you can come in here at this time. We're going to do digital photo ops first.
to show that off to the audience when you're done. Oh, so look at this. Now you said it was 2 years of Catholic school that made it this nice?
Yeah.
Looks like I need to go back
I
for
imagine
some training.
that's where I can't think of any other place I got it.
Look at that beautiful signature. I can't write my name that neat if you gave me all day, Goose, to practice.
Well, I mean, it's something that somebody's that really enjoyed what I used to do. There's nothing greater than meeting the fans that loved what we used to do. You know, they are what the game is all about, and without the fans, we wouldn't have a game. So, you know, anytime I can say hi or make somebody's day a little better by just shaking hands or saying hi or signing an autograph, how good is that?
It's unbelievable. I've only signed my autograph for a few people.
What
other
did you
than
want
things.
on this?
Just your regular Goose would be great. I'm going to get you a pack while you're doing that.
So if you have a VIP,
Thank you so much. These we're going to open in just a minute because I think it's kind of fun to open a pack, and this is for you to keep. You can keep one to bring home, give it away to a friend. These are unopened packs from 1979 O-Pee-Chee baseball and 1982 Topps baseball. And for me, even though this is a little bit before I started collecting, this is basically why I started Vintage Breaks, is because I like opening up old packs, sharing it with community, live on social media, live on YouTube, etc. And to be very candid, interviewing someone like yourself wasn't even someone that I thought that I would be able to do. Like when I started this, it was just all about dollars and cents. But when I got into it and I realized I was doing this for passion, I made former amazing athletes like yourself part of our community, part of our breaks, and we're really proud of that.
Absolutely. These kids, I always reverted back when the pressure of the major leagues started to get to me of performing and coming in night after night in big situations, game on the line, and that would start to build up in a cumulative fashion on the weight and the pressure. And the first time I went through that, I thought, man, why am I feeling like this? I've never felt like this. Why did I start playing baseball? I started asking myself all these questions, and the bottom line, I started answering them. And I said, well, I started playing it for the love of it and for the fun of it when I was 8 years old. And I reverted back. Every time that pressure started to get to me, I would revert back to when I was 8 years old about the love and the fun of it. So that's a great lesson, for the fun and the love of it. And don't change it. I tell kids, hey kids, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, go do something else. Find something that you are passionate about, because
Crosby, I hope you're listening.
That's where greatness comes from. Even if you think, I didn't think I could, when I started out on my journey of being a Major League Baseball player, I didn't think, there's no way I could give Mickey Mantle out, or all the greats that I looked up to. I thought they put their pants on differently than I did, so, keep it fun, keep it simple, and have fun. Even at, the same pressures are there at Little League. You want to get that base hit with the bases loaded, no matter if
it doesn't matter where it is.
It doesn't change.
I used to call my backyard Sheldon Stadium.
The game does not change. The players get more consistent. That's all. The further up the ladder you go, and stay after it. It's a game of perseverance. One of the greatest attributes or greatest things that we can have in our lives is perseverance. Stay after it. How you deal with failure.
Now listen, I'm excited to watch this on playback. This one, make sure the kids at home or in person have earmuffs on. This is a happy birthday to my buddy Greg. He's been my friend since I was basically playing baseball since I was 8 years old. So I will keep it relatively clean for on camera. But would you consider signing a ball? Because I know how you feel about Mr. Cashman. saying something along the lines of F. Cashman and with your signature, because he would enjoy that as a birthday gift. And if you're uncomfortable, I'm not upset, but I know he would greatly appreciate it.
No, it's, I just, there's no respect. The bottom line is these guys don't respect the game. They don't respect the game that came before this crap that they're playing. And if I want to go to a video game, I'll go to a video game down at the arcade.
Sure.
Okay, this is real baseball. They won their rotisserie leagues at Harvard, and they're brainiacs.
Their beer league.
They know nothing about the fundamentals of this game.
Well, hopefully we'll get some more baseball
None.
minds back in the game.
I see it. And coaches, let me tell you, you guys are glorified babysitters. That's all you are. All you do is babysit. I had coaches that have put a foot in my butt. They put an arm around you too, but they would, they get in your shit too. So, let me tell you something, kids. Don't take exception when the coach gets mad at you, okay? You're going to love that coach later on in life. The greatest coaches I ever had were the toughest, and the teachers that you'll run into. The toughest ones are going to be your favorites in the end, believe me. All of my coaches I love them. I love them for what they did for me, but they screamed at me, aired me out numerous times. I mean, I felt like crawling under a rock somewhere. There's nowhere to hide, but that's part of the game, and that's part of learning. So don't get all butthurt because the coach got mad at you.
All right, well, listen, thank you so much, Goose. We're going to have you sign that one more when you have a moment, and we're going to send you home with a couple of packs. You can either open them on the plane or later today, but I caution you, do not eat the gum. It's going to be old and stale.
Sign it.
Yeah, sounds great.
Why don't we open those up on TV?
Oh, if you'd like
They're
to.
on,
I didn't want to assume anything, but that's great. I think we should do that. We're actually going to have you go through them together. So the first pack we're going to open with Goose is a 1979 O-Pee-Chee baseball pack. The key rookie that we potentially could get in here is Ozzie Smith, but there's all-time greats such as yourself potentially, as well as Nolan Ryan, Pete Rose, etc. So without further ado, let's see what we got.
Oh, I see an oldie there.
Yep.
Oh, man, the gum.
Oh yeah, now please don't eat it. I don't need Joe to come back and yell at me, the gentleman who runs the show. Oh yeah, it's gross. It's
Wow.
gross. Oh yeah.
Oh, man, there's a great player.
Remember Joe Rudy?
Joe Rudy, guys. Wow, what a player. Those great Oakland teams in the early 70s. Mike Parrott.
Look at those glasses. Man. Ooh, he was very good.
Dave Concepcion. Yeah,
Big Red Machine.
great shortstop, great player. Wow. These guys were all around players. They moved runners. Situational hitting, gone. These kids wouldn't even have a clue about what situational hitting is. To move a runner over. Get him on, get him over, get him in, gone.
I just got goosebumps because I saw the next card.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. That's awesome.
Catfish Hunter, man. You know what? I get recognized as catfish. They just see me and they think catfish. Sure. It hasn't been for a while, but I always used to get recognized as catfish.
I get Vince Vaughn.
And what an honor. Yeah, you look like Vince Vaughn. Anyway, what a class act. One of the greatest teammates a guy could ever have. And
I'm glad that we gifted it to you in this way.
Oh, that's
it's free
awesome.
to take home. Excited.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And what do we got here? Steve Rogers.
Oh my God.
Really a good, solid right-handed pitcher for quite a few years.
Goose, you're killing me. You don't see what's
had an
next.
exceptional.
Goose Gossage
man.
just pulled an Ozzie Smith rookie from a 1979 O-Pee-Chee baseball pack, and it's his card. Congratulations, Goose. That's awesome, man. Wow. Well, you've been more than generous with your time today, and someone's paying you back.
Well,
That's really cool.
I love meeting the fans everywhere because they are what the game is all about. And playing in front of 50,000 of you guys is an out-of-body experience is the best way that I can describe that. So, hey, everybody stay healthy, and good luck to you in your baseball and in everything. And keep working hard. Perseverance. Keep after it. Oh, man.
That was awesome.
That's great.
That's
Thank you
the best
guys.
athlete pack break I've ever had that I
Well-
gave to an athlete.
Let's see who else we got here. Bob Steamer.
I love that you know the nicknames like right off
Sundberg.
the top of your head.
Oh yeah.
Little
Oh,
gum
well.
damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, there is.
Oh yeah, it's gross.
Is that? Oh,
There we go. Who is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Stan
glad that
Pappy.
wasn't the Ozzie Smith.
Stan Pappy. Yeah.
What a pack.
Amazing. Thank you guys.
Oh, listen, thank you so much.
And good luck to all of you out there. Give them hell. Short memory is a beautiful thing.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
buddy.
Goose.
You're welcome.